Hey guys, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about blood magic of all things. I did see a post on witchtok that kind of provoked this. I am in a great mood, I'm happy, but this might be a little bit of a rant. I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't like blood magic very much. For many reasons, I will tell you, and these are just my opinions, okay? But I've experienced a lot. I've done a lot, I've had a lot of attempts to be trying to do against me. Like, I've seen a lot in the spiritual realm. I saw a post on witchtok of someone saying that you needed to add fingernails and blood to your altars. No. Yes, I'm wearing a filter, mind your business. You do not need to add blood to an altar. I'm not telling you, when I make this video, I am not telling y'all what to do with your practice. Okay? I'm not. If you want to put a bunch of blood on somebody's altar, that's your choice. I can't stop you. Do I recommend it? Absolutely not. But it's not always going to have very good results. More often than not, it completely backfires. I know that some people use blood in their magic and stuff. It's very different when you are either offering it to a spirit or you are doing a work that involves you and another person. Because with the spirit side of things, if you're offering it to a deity or whatever, it's very hard to make sure that that deity is the one that receives the blood. And I am not talking about Santeria or Palo or Voodoo or these organized traditions. Okay, I'm talking about regular folk magic, kitchen witchery, whatever. Wicca, all that. Okay. And unless you have consecrated items, it's very, very difficult to make sure that that deity is the one that receives that offering, because you're going to attract very, very low-level spirits, bloodthirsty spirits, that can cause a lot of chaos, a lot of havoc, a lot of problems in your life. And I'm not saying any of this to fearmonger you, I'm just telling y'all what's up and what I've seen. If you want to do it, go ahead. That's the second time that I've said that, and it's for a reason. Because I know somebody's going to get mad. It's your blood, do what you want. But just know, if y'all try to give a bunch of blood to Hades, it might not be Hades that answers. One thing not a lot of people understand is, in a lot of ways, and I am Greek, okay? So I feel like I can speak on this a little bit. I'm Greek Romani, my dad. Rest in peace, Daddy B. These deities evolve over time. Maybe in ancient times, blood was given, but as a society, we have evolved past that. We have evolved, for the most part, past unaliving people in the name of sacrifice. And giving a deity your blood, especially a deity like Hades, which is an underworld spirit deity, it's very, very difficult to make sure Hades is the one that answers your call. Because think about it. Even from a vibrational perspective, okay? Let's say the earthbound spirit, vibration-wise, even though he's in the underworld, let's say that he is a high vibrational deity. And I'm just using Hades as an example. He's a deity. That archetypal force, that masculine force of death in the underworld, is deified at this point. It's up here, vibration-wise. Earthbound, low-level dirty, nasty, mean, malicious, violent spirits are down here. Okay? And here's Earth. Boop. Because the ground, the earth, that's why they're called earthbound spirits, right? Who do you think is closer and more accessible? Hades? It might take him a little while to get that offering. Or the earthbound spirit that's just waiting, that can smell you a mile away. Because as a new witch, you already have a light bulb over your forehead in the spiritual world. Just as there are people that will try to take advantage of your naivety, there are also spirits that will do the same. It's just the duality of the universe that we live in. Okay? I'm just trying to keep y'all safe physically and spiritually because I can see this going very wrong. I don't want someone, God forbid, knock on wood, being in a very difficult situation that they're wanting to call their deity for, and being so desperate and in that heartbroken or distraught mood and just cutting themselves the fuck open, trying to give as much blood as possible to this deity, trying to get some results. That's dangerous. I've never heard of feeding an altar with blood. And as far as the spiritismo goes, blood does not go in the wilderness. This has no place in the spiritismo whatsoever. No. I don't even give mine medium rare steak. That's just my preference. Another thing. A lot of women use their menstrual blood for spell work. And when you bind someone to you in that way, because essentially that's what you're doing, it can be very hard to break. Because you are binding yourself to them by blood at a soul level. I'm not saying it's impossible to break. I know how to break it. Okay? But sometimes the steps that have to take place to get that crap broken can be very extreme. Meaning, you might have to go through ceremonies. You might have to get initiated into something. Because you might need those spirits or those deities' help in those higher forces, rather, in breaking this crap. And also protecting you from the repercussions. Because when you bind yourself to someone, you experience life that they are living, and vice versa, because you essentially become one, right? You're stuck together. It's not a good idea. And it's nasty. Okay, I know it's an old wives' tale of women putting menstrual blood in their men's food, or boiling their panties in water and feeding it. I'm sorry. I've never had to do that crap to get or keep a man. Nor would I. That is nasty. It's unhygienic. What are you going to do if you do this to him or her and they get sick? Here's a little science lesson for you guys. And I'm not trying to be condescending or anything. This is how I get when I'm ranting. I get kind of bitchy. I'm passionate about this crap. Because I don't want y'all to get hurt or sick. Certain parts of the body have different bacteria. Okay? That we know about. Meaning that strain of bacteria has a name. It's identifiable. Right? For example, the feminine reproductive system has bacteria in it. It's a natural thing. There's good bacteria and bad bacteria. Okay? If he gets sick and they start doing tests and stuff, and let's say he had no contact with your pee-pee, like intimacy-wise, and all he did was eat your food, there you go. they will know. He will know that you put some nasty shit in his food. Do you really want to go through that of having to explain what you were doing? If nothing else. I'm not even talking about the morals behind it or none of that. I'm talking girl to girl. It's gross. And it can be very difficult to remove. Now, do men do this crap as well? Yeah. Do people try to take other people's blood and use it to work magic against them? Absolutely. I've had it done to me. They tried. I don't welcome that shit in my life. There is no place for it in my life. I am initiated in Palo. There is a blood oath with a muerto and my godparents. As far as I'm concerned, that's all the blood that needed to be shed. I am covered in the blood, okay? In the name of muerto. I'm good. And I don't think it's good to have a life or manifestations that were built on bloodshed. It's some energetically, I just don't believe in it. I'm not criticizing Santeria, Voodoo, Palo. Some Palo houses do sacrifice. That's their belief system. I don't agree with it though. I think that God, in their infinite wisdom, and the universe, in their infinite wisdom, gave us tools and resources to manifest the life that we desire without having to shed blood, whether it be ours or a sacrifice, animal sacrifice. Again, this is apart from organized, balanced traditions where it's necessary. Like, it was necessary for me to get scratched. That ceremony that I went through was necessary for me, my path, and my life. But I'm not going to be cutting myself the fuck open. And I'm not going to sacrifice anything either. I used to do animal sacrifice. Until my now lovely godmother came along into my life and explained to me why it is fundamentally wrong. And how it wasn't actually helping my situation. It would help a little bit in the short term. Long term, no. Complete opposite. And that's, these people, if you start giving blood to these spirits, and they are not high elevated spirits, and you overfeed them blood, you're going to have to keep doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it. Because two things are going to happen. You're going to get that spirit addicted to that blood like a crackhead. And you yourself are going to get addicted to the results. With all the dopamine and all the, happy hormones and stuff and endorphins that are released when you get your manifestation, supposedly because you gave so-and-so some blood. When they are not high enough of a spirit, such as an Orisha or in the law, to properly take the sacrifice. These are just my opinions. You don't have to agree. I'm not criticizing anybody. This is the one reason that I will not go any further in Santo. I will not. I love the Orisha, Maferafun Yamaya, Maferafun Ochun, Maferafun Alegua. But, I don't do the whole animal sacrifice thing. I don't believe in it anymore. Because I was educated on a deep level, in a deep and meaningful way on why it's fundamentally fucked up and unnecessary. And it's only going to hurt you in the end. Why don't we tell the story? Okay, this is going to be a long video, but whatever. So, y'all remember how I told you that my beautiful Madrina told me why I was wrong? I'm going to tell y'all how that happened. That day, earlier that day, I had went to the farm and I had bought 3 big black roosters. Y'all, these were literally the prettiest roosters I've ever seen. They had like all black feathers, but some of the feathers were like shiny with like blue and green and purple. Oh my god. Beautiful chickens. I'm sorry, I love chickens. I love pretty chickens. Those ones are my favorite. I love feathers too. Anyway, I bought 3 of them, and I was going to, I was doing animal sacrifice at this point in time. I was going to give one to my Zarabanda, which, if you're not familiar, that is a spirit in Palo. I was going to give one to him, and I was going to take the other 2 to someone else so that they could feed their shrines. Yes, I paid for them. I paid for them all. This farm was about 10 minutes from my house. So I get in my little white Mercedes with my chickens and I go home. First of all, I should have known that this was not meant to be, because I could barely get that box through the door. Y'all should have seen me. And mind you, I've always lived in the suburbs, so there's like, I have a big ass box that I'm trying to shove through my front door, and there's soccer moms outside, because it was like 3 p.m. in the afternoon, and everybody was getting home from school and stuff. They hear, bok, 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 bok. You know, like, the chickens were going off. The chickens wanted out of that box. It had holes in it, okay? I get it in my house. I put it in my foyer. I think I was just so exhausted from trying to get the chicken box in through the door that I went to go take a nap. I wake up. I go to let my dog out of her crate, which was also in the living room. I think I took a nap on the couch, got up, went to the crate, let my baby girl out, okay? Miss Cleo, my big Zarabanda dog, Zarabandita. She was named, she wasn't named after my pug, that was her nickname. Big black dog, 65 pounds, just an absolute machine. All muscle. Well, as you can imagine, it didn't take very long for Cleo to realize, oh, fuck, no, I'm not going outside. There's chickens in here. I swear to God, y'all, she went like this. She went out of the crate, and the back door's right here. She went out of the crate. Heard one of the chickens make a noise, and immediately her ears perked up, and she ran across my house to the foyer. Or foyer, I don't know how it's pronounced. Started ripping into the box. Ripping into the box. Chickens fly out. There were 3 big-ass black chickens and a big-ass black dog running around my house. Complete pandemonium. Complete chaos. One by one, Cleo unalived each chicken. I tried to save them, y'all, because at this point I was like rethinking it. I'm like, okay, maybe I'm not supposed to sacrifice these. We can just take them back to the farm. You know, like, I knew something was up spiritually. So she unalives all 3 of them. I was trying to get them. I couldn't. They're too fast. Okay. Before I could get to the chicken, Cleo already got to it, because she would see me coming. And without a drop of blood anywhere, Cleo unalive those chickens. I don't know how she did this. I don't really want to know. Again, the dog, complete machine. I was cleaning up feathers, black feathers, around my house for a good 6 months. Earlier that day, I think that my madrina we were texting, and we agreed to talk on the phone that night. And I'm like, yeah, I've got to tell you what happened. And I tell her the story. And she's like, honestly, I think that the spirits were saving you the karma. Something jumped in Cleo and did what it did. For whatever reason. And then she went on to explain why it's wrong. And it actually makes things worse. Especially, I was at war at the time. I was actually at war secretly, didn't know about it, with the person that I bought the chicken for. Y'all have to be really careful. Because they'll have you thinking it's one enemy when it's actually them the whole time. And they just like having you close to them because they like the power. But this is the type of person you turn into when you overly sacrifice. Yep, never sacrificed again after that. That was it. I listened the first time. Did I have to pay some of that karma back? Yeah, I did. And I took it humbly. And even still, I think the universe went easy on me because I repented for my sins. I apologized for my mistakes. And I promised to never do it again. But the karma was not very pretty. But I deserved it. I committed those sins. I was misguided. I thought it was okay. I didn't know. I was 23. You know, that's a little blood magic story for y'all. And why I don't do sacrifice. But it can just get very, very messy. And I don't think it's a good idea. Okay? If you would like to book a reading with me, or you think that maybe blood magic was done on you, you can book a consultation with me or a general reading, and we will get you taken care of. I have had some people try to do the worst. I gave the wrong person my blood when I was 23. I was very misguided, very trusting of the wrong person. But we've moved past that. They still have my blood, but I live a good life, so they can't touch me. And that just goes to show you how much work Spirit has put into me. I'm not trying to toot my own horn, and I've had a lot of guidance to get here, and I have to owe it all to God, Spirit, and my elders, but also my higher self, because you have to be a strong-ass bitch if blood magic can't touch you. I evolved. I wasn't always that way. But I moved past it. I moved through it. And I damn sure was susceptible to it. Like, the more I sacrificed, the more susceptible I became to blood magic, because that was part of my karma. You see what I'm saying? So, I'm gonna get off of here. I love y'all very much. I hope this made sense. It was a little bit of a rant, but I hope it was informative in some way for somebody.